All right, so I hope you guys managed to grab your drink and your coffee. So hi everyone, I'm Alicia again, for those of you who have just joined. I'm running this together with my team at Gravitas International. Vitas and Mark are also online and they'll be helping out with the logistical side of the webinar. So again, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome to this month's Gravitas International webinar. Each month, we cover exciting topics on... Hi, Ustine! So each month, we cover exciting topics on the latest developments within the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. And we're joined by top tech experts and industry thought leaders. They share exclusive insights from their point of view and on-ground experience. You can find resources of our past webinars on our website, www.gravitas.international, and stay up to date with the next webinar when you subscribe to our newsletter. So a little bit about Gravitas International. We are a global blockchain company headquartered in Singapore, and we offer end-to-end advisory and implementation services to help business leaders and entrepreneurs launch their blockchain and crypto projects. We are Singapore-registered fintech company certified by the Singapore Fintech Association. So for today's event, we'll be starting with the presentations, followed by a Q&A. So feel free to add your questions into the chat box and we'll get to them at the very end of all the presentations. So to kick off today's topic, revolution of blockchain technology in social media, what to expect. So social media and social networks are really the ultimate middleman. I'm pretty sure everyone here is on some sort of social media, WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook. And the reason why we're on it is because we yearn for communication and they orchestrate it, reaping hefty profits, a situation ripe for disruption by blockchain. In just a decade, the world has seen the potential that blockchain has to take the power away from big tech and put it back into the hands of users. So this makeover, as you guys might know, is called Web3. So you've heard about Facebook's metaverse, but did you know that other billion-dollar social network giants that are already taking the technology seriously? For example, Twitter is doubling down on creative tools like you can tip other tweeters with Bitcoin, or they let their users display their NFT collections as profile pictures for a fee. Kakao has a marketplace for trading NFTs on their very own Kletin blockchain. So with the movement of blockchain technology quickly infiltrating the social media space, what do we as users, creators, and small businesses need in order to succeed in this new environment? So we're very lucky to have with us today not 4, but 5 blockchain and crypto experts in this space, including founders and advisors of high growth companies to share their insights and knowledge on the key topic of today, revolution of the blockchain technology in social media and what to expect. So 5 guest speakers for today are Mr. Malcolm Tan, Maksim Bozhko, Daniel Daboczy, Rex Wong, and Marvin Ko. So our first speaker of tonight is Daniel Daboczy. He is the CEO of Influencio. He's also a fintech veteran, so having launched and IPO'd his equity crowdfunding firm funded by me. Daniel is an investor, mentor, and hands-on advisor for many European and Asian startups. Daniel is on a mission to use technology to improve the lives of many, either through democratizing the world of funding or using the smartest tech available, such as crypto, to reach those goals. His latest work has been around Influencio, which is a platform that uses content sharing and crypto token rewards to build communities around a brand or message. Influencio mixes classic word of mouth and influencer marketing principles with gamification and methods that have helped build cryptocurrencies and the communities. So now, after the very long introduction, I'll pass on the time to Daniel now, who will be speaking more about Influencio, the rise of the new blockchain-powered social media platform.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm just going to try to find a quiet place. I'm traveling. But thank you for the introduction. And you know, the life of an entrepreneur is restless, always on a track. But I love your introduction, Alicia, how you said about social media, because you're totally correct. There's not a single person on this planet, I think, who is not on some social media. You know, there are of course local and global ones, but the point is that many are trying to solve a huge problem in social media, and that's of course, you know, the issue of how to deal with users and how to make sure that everybody can monetize. So 2 years ago, I started a project where we were looking at influencer marketing to see how can we get influencer marketing to be more effective in fundraising or IPOs, or when a company needs to do a different type of approach, basically when you want to reach real people, right? So we used influencer marketing and it was extremely effective. But what we did realize is that influencer marketing is not interesting in itself. The interesting part is, of course, are you reaching the right people? And if you look at influencer marketing, 97% of those who are influencers today are not making any money by being influencers. And if they make money, it's on side gigs. 100% of regular influencers like me, micro influencers, we don't get any money. And then, of course, followers never get anything for engagement. So Influencio at the end of the day is a new tool where we want to make sure that the 100 million plus micro influencers can monetize. But we also want to build a fully decentralized system where advertisers can reach out and use this force. Right now, of course, you can buy a post by Kim Kardashian, right, for $1 million if you want to. Some do, it's a waste of money. And of course, Coca-Cola and the big names, they always want the big influencers to talk about them. But at the end of the day, what they really want is impact. They want buyers, right? So look at a person like me. I have a few thousand followers, perhaps 20,000 or something. I'm considered to be micro influencer. I don't make any money. But if Coca-Cola would pay me a few $100 to post about their new taste, I would do that if I like it. And then, of course, the impact of my amplification is much higher than if you buy a post by some celebrity and that disappears. So I also want to emphasize that in crypto, we've seen a lot of celebrities and influencers market or shell coins. This is not that. So we are not building a token and then we're using influencers to market it. We actually are building a tool for influencers, and especially the 100 million plus global micro influencers, and of course for the advertising industry. The advertising industry right now is $193 billion big, and 65 billion is shifting towards influencer marketing. Where of course we do believe that a huge chunk of that will eventually flow through the Influencio ecosystem. Some people have done this in an analog Web 2 format, but we want to build this fully decentralized on a proper blockchain, and of course with NFTs, gamified events, play to earn, watch to earn, because at the end of the day, we want users who engage in content and spend time close to their brands. That's how you make people buy stuff. So advertisement at the end of the day is a way for you to reach you. And just displaying ads, it's obsolete, and everybody knows that. So in this metaverse that we're building, where we're going to have hundreds of millions of people eventually who are making money on the social interaction, we definitely believe that it is part of the future. And in addition, of course, every transaction on this platform, from advertisers to influencers, they will use the Influencio token as the platform in-game currency. So as of today, we have 34 million people to reach through the force of the first 300 influencers that we have attracted. We have also signed contracts with 20 advertisement agencies. Obviously, those are the key elements here. Influencers you always find, but the advertising industry is the important part. And then, of course, at the end of the day, once again, when we are done, we're never going to be done, but when we are done with our project, our aim is that Influencio is the decentralized platform for advertisements towards influencers. By saying that, for us, it's very important that we do the Barack Obama model, right? So instead of saying you have to come on a Tuesday and call this list and only donations over $200 are accepted, as politics was in the US, what Barack Obama said, look, whatever you do is awesome. Whatever social network you use is awesome. We want engagement, 24 hours a day. And that's what we want. We don't want to lock in people into a specific platform. We know for a fact that Facebook will be dead in X amount of years, as will Google. That nothing will last forever, right? So that's why it's important that our users are always using the best tool available for them. I might use Instagram and LinkedIn because those are my preferred tools. But somebody in Korea might use Kakao, and somebody in Africa might use something else. So this change in the influencer industry marketing is huge.
There's a lot of people who are looking at this, and as you know, the smartest people on the planet right now are figuring out how to make more people click ads. Like we, right? We are the smartest people in this room, and not in this room, but in the rooms that I am. We're focusing how to make more people click. But at the end of the day, that's the world we live in right now. And then, of course, influencers, they are starting to shift towards asking for payments. The days where people posted stuff just for fun, that disappeared way back. So we definitely see a huge demand from influencers, micro-influencers, to start demanding money for their engagements. So we are well backed by Plutus VC and some others VC. Very proud about that. We have announced quite a lot of advisors, and we've done one pre-sale now on one launchpad. We're going to do one last launchpad. We're going to open that round probably in 2 or 3 weeks from now. So it's the last chance to buy discounted tokens before the listing. And we will definitely list the coin on a tier 1 or tier 2 exchange by this summer. And we're getting a lot of excitement because, once again, influencers is the power that drives social media. And we are creating something for them, and at the same time for the advertising industry, which is shifting $65 billion towards this. I'm so sorry for the background noise. I hope you heard what I said. Thank you for the passion, for attention, and Nisha, thank you for a great presentation, not about me, but what we're doing and our entire group, because we do so much fun stuff and so much great stuff and interesting stuff, and we're growing a lot. And definitely we want more people in the world to know about this. So thank you for me. I'm open for questions now if somebody has questions.
All right, thanks, Daniel. We'll leave the questions for the end of the presentations for all of our speakers. But thank you so much for sharing with us about Influencio and really great insights on influencer marketing as well. It's really great to hear that Influencio is taking charge of this movement of looking not only at macro influencers, but also micro influencers, who now I feel have a lot more power with their words and their recommendations. So personally, when I look for a recommendation for a new like skincare product, I will go to my friends. I wouldn't really look at like those big influencers. So it's really great that Influencio is taking charge of this and, you know, like driving this force. And it also sounds like Influencio is doing...
Yeah, exactly. Sorry to interrupt you, but you know, it also drives trust, right? On the internet, everybody's commodity is trust, right? And especially in crypto, being such a new industry and such a, you know, messy industry sometimes, right? So trust travels. So you're totally right, Alicia, that if you would post something, you post it because you like it, and then of course your followers trust that. And that's somebody was asking what the coin name was. The coin name is Influencio. You can also go to influencio.io, and every information is there. So Influencio is the name of the token because somebody was asking.
Great, awesome. Hope you guys got that. It's influencio.io. We can also pop it into the chat after this. But yeah, it also sounds like Influencio is doing some exciting launches that people are already clearly interested in. Thank you, Vitas. So yeah, that's influencio.io. So yeah, please feel free to check it out. And thank you again, Daniel, for sharing with us your thoughts and insights about influencer marketing and blockchain.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I wish you knew what I know about this project and about this content and what emails and calls we're getting. And I think especially our social medias are really good because you can see the passion from the people. We also shared a few of the influencers and their followers. And of course, we are very happy to reach, you know, certain stranger, like strange in quotations, right? Like we have a DJ from Somalia, you know, he basically reaches everybody in Somalia. And sometimes actually those people are more powerful, you know, music people, celebrities, football players, you know, these people tend to have such huge followings now in, you know, in the grassroots, and more people understand the grassroots is the goal in the future. I've been lucky enough to run one of Europe's fastest grassroots crowdfunding sites. So I learned quite well and how the world is shifting. And this is something that is not related to Influencio only, but to all of us. There's a huge shift changing right now in the world. It's a paradigm shift, right? So a lot of power is redistributed, a lot of wealth is redistributed, and a lot of new technology is emerging. So I think that us in this room, and especially 33 people listening, and everybody who will watch this afterwards, I think you're lucky to be in this paradigm shift, because in this chaos, now is the time to build awesome companies. If you look at previous wealth, like Amazon, Elon Musk, the Rockefellers, they all built wealth in paradigm shifts. When one world was shifting, when we went from one technology leap to the other one, the industrial revolution or the technology revolution, or now the crypto revolution. So I think be extremely smart now and engage or invest or buy, because however you look at this, it's still early days. We still, this crypto and tokens, they will establish themselves in the next 5, 10, 20 years, right? So you want to be one of the early ones who build wealth and then joins the journey upwards once users come in, because crypto right now has hit critical mass, meaning that enough people are in it. Also, institutional people are coming. More and more companies are legislating or regulating clearly, which is extremely positive for the industry. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Daniel. It was very, very insightful. And it's a great segue for our next speaker, actually, because now we're looking at social media and blockchain from a technical perspective. So we have Maksim Bozhko, the Group Chief Information Officer at Technicorum Holdings. A little bit about him. He's a veteran in the blockchain industry. Maksim has actively been involved in blockchain projects since 2013. And has been a co-founder and advisor to Bitcoin mining and trading companies, as well as launching ICOs and IEOs. Besides this, Maksim has been managing IT projects for over 10 years and is very involved in blockchain technology developments, and has even published academic articles on blockchain application in the stock market. So now I'll pass on the time over to Maksim to talk about the benefits of blockchain in social media.
Right. Thank you very much, Alicia, for this introduction. Really, I'm Max Bozhko, and I'm working as a Chief Information Officer of the Technicorum Group. My speech might be more general regarding the blockchain market than the Influencio project, but at the end of the day, it is important that we have the whole a bird's eye view vision of the market and what's happening in the technology space, so we can apply it correctly on our business models, and we can get the most benefits of the technology outside and bring it to the community we are working for. All right, so maybe it will not so bad to briefly talk about what the blockchain is. Just a brief remind, this is a technology of decentralized information storage. So basically, if you've heard about some cryptocurrencies and blockchains and think they are pretty the same, so the blockchain is the technology, and the cryptocurrencies is a form of digital money based on the blockchain technology. And blockchain technology have two important properties. There is no central server or authority to shut down the system. And the second, that everyone can join network by running node application on the server, and he will be on the same absolutely level as another network participants. So that brings big advantages to such a system. So you do not need third-party authority like a bank or a central authority, and it also. On the second stage of the blockchain development, we met smart contracts, which are actually working exactly like the agreements in legal world, but they are written not in human language, but in a code language, which can be executed in autopilot mode within the blockchain tech. All right, so and why it is very important right now to dive deeper into the crypto world and get familiar with that. So we are seeing how the world reacts on politics instabilities. Some companies reject their clients. We can see a lot of sanctions around. And you know what? This is the best way to propagate the crypto, because crypto is uncensorable. It is unstoppable. You can continue to use cryptocurrencies while everybody shut down their services, even Visa and MasterCard, right? And at the movement, we can see right now that a lot of people, a lot of companies get themselves familiar with the crypto because they see the risks of the centralized administration of the fiat system. So they so far the companies start blocking their clients. We found out that there is only reliable way to manage your assets only by yourself and uncensorable way. It's obviously crypto. And once we achieve some critical mass of the crypto adoption, and very, very soon we will find out that it is like a bad tone not to accept crypto if you are online store or something like this. Of course, this is very important because people are not only starting to use the cryptocurrency right now, they are getting habits of using it. They are getting familiar with wallets, with exchanges, with P2P exchanges, with how to transfer to each other stable coins. Stable coins are very exciting invention, right? So you got all the benefits of the cryptocurrency, decentralization, censorship resistance, and you have the stable value of the unit of amount. All right, so this is awesome. This is genius, and I believe that this is our future. We are going right now, but for right now, we have very, very big issues with the convenience of the usage of their systems. Because, for example, if you want to participate in some kind of crypto loan or decentralized exchange, so you can first purchase, you can first put your money to the exchange and then exchange to the native token and then send this token to the wallet and then send it to the smart contract, etc., etc. So this is a very inconvenient way to interact with all these decentralized finance system. So that's why our major focus goal to achieve hundreds of millions of users is to apply as much simple user experience approach as possible. So even you can imagine that a 5-year-old boy just pick the smartphone, go to the platform, and he can create content and get monetized, even if he don't have a bank account or whatever, so he can create it on fly like a crypto wallet and just go ahead. All right, so this is our goal, to make as much a simple tool as possible for use of 100 millions of users who even not familiar with the crypto itself, right? So when you're, for example, purchasing a luxury car, you don't see an engine, right? So you're just sitting in the cabin and you're driving. So the engine, which is blockchain technology in our case, is under the hood. We don't see it, we don't hear it, but it works and it brings real value to the user experience on the financial layer, right? So decentralizing the interactions between users, in our case, influencers and brands, this makes this interaction much more secure and reliable, and also censorship resistant. So this is the big potential of the decentralized finance, but the challenge again is to make the as much simple tools as possible. And if Daniel don't mind, I just make a little spoiler right now. We are working on an amazing payment product that will love every merchants, every online stores, and this will outbid all the payment markets. So I'm really, really excited of this, and this will be a part of our Influencio. So the user will get very cozy, very slight experience as possible. So that's pretty all of my thoughts.
Thank you, Maxim. It was very exciting to hear your point of view about Influencio and the benefits of blockchain on social media. I can feel your excitement about the payment feature for Influencio. And it's also really great to have the clear explanation for those of us who have joined, who are new to blockchain and crypto. And it's also a great insight that you shared with us of its application in the current climate. I also liked how you mentioned how user experience is key into getting, global adoption going for blockchain and cryptocurrency, which definitely is the challenge right now. So, the UI UX needs to be like top notch for people to actually want to use it. So now that we've taken a look at the fundamentals of blockchain and global adoption, let's take a look at fan application in social media. So our next speaker is Rex Wong. He's a serial entrepreneur with over 30 years of experience in the internet, technology, media, and software space. He's currently the CEO and co-founder of Famecast Media, which is an all-in-one technology and branding platform for creators. And he's also the co-founder of iVideo Smart, which is a global internet TV network with over 500 million addressable users. So Rex has founded and run multiple startups and has achieved numerous successful exits, creating shareholder value in excess of $1 billion. Rex's companies has won numerous awards, including Best of CES, Best of Internet World, Red Herring 100, and Always On 100. So without further ado, I'm sure you guys are very excited to hear from Rex. I'll pass on the time to him to speak more about fan amplification as the next big thing in influencer marketing.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to speak here. I'm going to talk about the creator economy. So let me share my screen and see here. So, I'm going to talk about the creator economy, and the creator economy is currently $100 billion business, and so creators include influencers, celebrities, dancers, athletes, DJs, artists, etc. And really, what the creators are, as Daniel was alluding to, it's really kind of the new way of doing marketing. So traditionally, most brands have used ads as their way of driving traffic at the top of the funnel. Now with creators and influencers, that top of the funnel can be driven by influencer posts and social posts. And so this creates kind of a new awareness top of the funnel where you can drive audiences, and the audiences engage and convert better and return a better return on investment to brands and advertisers. Also, because of the audience, there's more control of the audience because these creators have more control of their first-party data. So really, where we look at the creator is that there are a lot of different tools right now in the creator life cycle, which govern different places. But there are different tools that cover different stages, including attention, trust, commerce, and ownership. But it is kind of confusing, and this is kind of where we have come into the space. And we kind of have looked at, where the biggest opportunities are. And right now, a lot of influencers are creating new brands and creating the value in building their brands. So this is kind of an example of some of the creators that have created unicorn billion-dollar valued brands. And all of these creators have never really been on TV, except for Kylie here, have ever been on TV or film. They are all social media influencers. And they started off either as YouTubers, Instagrammers, or bloggers. But one of the big problems that we identified in the space was that it's a very messy space. And because creators really sit on many platforms and they have many, and they use many technology. So they're probably on 4 or 5 social platforms. They're on, they might have a website on WordPress, and their videos might be on YouTube, and they might have e-commerce on Shopify, and their subscriptions might be on Patreon. So they have to manage all these platforms, and it's quite confusing for the fans because they have to find their creators or various aspects of their creators on these different platforms. And so that's been quite confusing. And so really we built Famecast to be this one-stop platform that allows this on-one ability to combine some of the features that creators go for. So as an example, if you're a musician and right after the pandemic, you had to switch from real life concerts to virtual concerts, you probably had to string together a bunch of technology tools. So as an example, you might use Zoom to put together your band. And then you might want to live stream that. So maybe you put that on Instagram or YouTube. The problem there is that you can't monetize on those platforms. So maybe you put it on Vimeo or live stream. But if you use these platforms, you need a website. So you'll probably have to build one on a Wix or WordPress. And then you want to sell tickets. So you'll have to copy those links into Eventbrite or something like that, right? And if you want to promote it, you have to go then bring it down to, let's say, MailChimp. And then you also want to promote it on your social, but in order to promote the social, you'll need optimized graphics for each platform as well as copy. So you'll probably go into something like Photoshop or Canva, create those graphics, and then push it out using maybe something like Hootsuite, and then push it out to all the social networks. And then you need to analyze, well, what happened, who clicked on it. And so you'll probably run that through HubSpot. Now, that's probably what a business will do. A musician or creator probably won't even do many of those steps, but that's what it takes to create a virtual concert today. And we can basically do the same thing in a few clicks because everything is built into one platform. So this is where the Fame platform comes in. And the Fame platform is the technology platform that we built to basically help with fan amplification, monetization, and engagement. And so really to look at it, we wanted to help creators manage their fans and analyze the data and analytics behind that. We wanted to help them amplify, and to amplify their audiences, typically it's around content. So we've built this content management streaming and distribution and promotion engine. And to monetize, there's many different ways to monetize, and we wanted to, but they sit on different platforms. So we wanted to allow them to be able to create merchandise and memberships and ticketing and subscriptions. And to engage, fans need to access them in one place. So we basically give creators their own portals and apps that are available on different screens like mobile, tablets, TVs, and PC and Macs. So really, the platform is an all-in-one platform that helps creators with their back office and tech. That includes things like community and live stream, video on demand, event system, which is kind of like our version of Zoom, master classes, podcasting, etc. So these are the various tools that creators use to engage their fans. And so that allows them to create different types of event types that include live casting, talk shows, concerts, conferences, master classes, workout classes, game casting, etc. And we built in different workflow to help them with content management and generation. This includes figuring out what their creators were, what their fans were doing. So when they first sign up, they connect to their social networks to the platform, and our AI engine goes in and takes a look at what their followers are doing. And then we analyze that, and we basically then the AI can create recommended social posts as well as videos, and recommend it to them, of which they then choose, and they can edit those and then post it. And once they post it, posts it to their own portals and apps, which we give them. That includes search engine optimization. It optimizes and creates different versions for different social platforms and posts it out to those platforms. It helps with creating email newsletters and sending out to their mailing list, as well as, because we power their desktop and mobile apps, it gives desktop and mobile notifications as well as community notifications. And then that drives into sales funnels and conversion. So really what we do with AI automated content is we're looking at things that are trending, memes, we're looking at what followers are talking about, and then we're basically generating content recommendation. So as an example, if let's say 10% of the of the fans seem to be talking about cats, and the creators have nothing to do about cats, but a lot of their fans are talking about cats, then we would recommend cat content, right? And of course, this creator might not have anything to do with cats, so we would pull different cat memes, cat videos, cat posts, etc., and then put it together and then generate that and recommend it to them. And then once they post, it basically shoots out all these different things to all these different social networks, including video platforms such as YouTube and TikTok, as well as social platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit, Pinterest, etc. And that drives engagement, and that amplifies audiences. And then once those audiences are there, then it's about how to monetize, and creators monetize in different ways, including e-commerce, memberships, subscriptions, live streams, NFTs, and all these types of things typically sit on different platforms. And we've basically unified that into one system so that they could monetize all those pieces. So that includes things like endorsements and sponsorships, which Daniel alluded to, where brands can find them. But it also includes things like building their own merch. And so we've built this global product marketplace that connects the factories from around the world and connects that to creators. And so creators can go in and create, for example, their own t-shirts and mugs and caps. But they can also do more advanced stuff. So as an example, if you're a beauty influencer, we have cosmetics factories, and we're helping creators build their own cosmetics lines, right? With musicians, we're helping them build their own headphone, kind of like Beats. And it's actually our factory partner and investor is actually the largest headphone manufacturer in the world that actually builds Beats and JBL and Harman Kardon. And we take care of a lot of the sourcing, logistics, warehousing, payment for the creators. So, and how that kind of works is that we generate content for them and then basically drive them back to their portals and apps, and they create their products where fans can come in and buy that. And then that goes to the factories, and the factories build that product and ship it directly to the fans and followers, and then the influencer gets paid. So they can build products like consumer electronics, gaming hardware, audio products, fitness products. So if you're a gamer, you can build your own gaming keyboard or mouse or headphone. And if you're an athlete, you can build your own fitness product. So like things like smart audio glasses is one of the hot things we're doing this year, and this is basically a glass that actually can that has a speaker in it. And so we use cases like Beats, of how Dr. Dre did Beats and built that into a $3 billion acquisition by Apple. But the power of influencers today are big because of the rise of social media, as well as the rise of mobile, and the infatuation of fans with their celebrities and influencers. Beauty and cosmetics is another place where it's big. In fact, most of the unicorn brands today that are built by influencers are in beauty and cosmetics. So that includes like influencers like Michelle Phan that took 8 million subscribers and basically turned that into 3 million subscription box subscribers for her cosmetics and built $1 billion valuation. And then in fashion, you know, creating their own fashion, as well as health and wellness. And so we help fans, we help creators also engage their super fans, and super fans happen to be about 5 to 10% of audience, but it typically is 70 to 80% of revenue. And so we've created the ability for fans to do personalized messaging and autographing, as well as combining that with media, what we call shout outs, which gives super fans a better experience and increases the margin for the creators. And helping them with NFTs, which inevitably today is in the conversation. So we can connect NFTs into anything from digital content and video and audio to art, pictures, and even physical merch. And we're helping creators also embrace Web3. So we have a metaverse platform that helps them build different, for example, metaverse arenas and metaverse shops, because that is really where creators have to be at the cutting edge, and we help them kind of give their, so to speak, tech chops for their to display to their fans. And we also have engaged them with these kind of creator branding studios, which we have, the first one we launched in LA, which allows them to come in, and it's kind of like an accelerator for creators to build their businesses, including fast merchandising, creating their technology, and creating content. And that also includes, we have this body scanner that helps them scan so that they have 3D models and avatars of themselves in 3D. And so they can really create this really quickly. We have really automated steps that they can create. And so in 4 steps in under 10 minutes, they can create their own portals and apps, which will include news, blogs, events, live streaming, e-commerce, community, membership, subscriptions. And so, and we've partnered with Influencio, so I take you through like what that is, and I created one with Daniel as an example. And so this is kind of the onboarding process of creating different portals and apps. And so with that process, what happens is that it's created this whole portal and app, which includes different things like communities where fans can build profile pages, build groups. They have the ability to do memberships and subscriptions. It automatically creates products for them, like their own t-shirts, their own socks, which creates different things, as well as it has video streaming, live streaming, event systems where they can basically host their products, host their content and events, and different pieces. So really the platform is designed to look at the space and say that, well, every other platform really is a point feature, and we're trying to combine all these best features into one piece so that they can basically create and manage it in one place. So, you know, that's kind of how we are helping creators build their workflows and their management, and help them build a business and really a career around from the creator economy. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Rex. It was really, really interesting to hear more about Famecast and about fan amplification and the creator economy. It's also great to learn more about the one-stop platform, everything from digital content to creating their own merchandise and NFTs. It's really sounds like a really great platform to be on, especially if you're a small content creator that wants to do away with, all the small menial steps and really focus on what really matters, which is, creating the content and then really engaging with your fans. And yeah, I think it's really cool that you mentioned the AI generator about what's currently trending, what's the cool new topics. And it's always important to stay current. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about, Chris Rock and Will Smith at the Oscars, right? And the creators that like leverage on this like pop news will be the ones that always rise to the top. So yeah, I think a lot of people in our chat right now, our participant list, would be very interested to hear more about Famecast and to know more about it. So we can drop the link for Famecast later on in the chat. And yes, so thank you so much, Rex, for sharing with us. So this leads us to another discussion around a bit more traditional markets in the finance world. How do traditional financial markets map onto the crypto markets conceptually and in trading? So moving away from social media all the way to the finance world, our next speaker, Marvin Koh, he is highly experienced in private banking and wealth management. And he has more than a decade serving clients from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China. So in early 2020, he furthered his career into the family office in the independent asset management space by joining Raffles Family Office. So a little bit more about Marvin. He has in-depth knowledge of the macroeconomic and financial investment environment, and he's very well versed with the latest happenings in the global financial market and the DeFi crypto world. So besides this, he also has extensive knowledge and expert charting technical skills in a wide range of product categories, in particular fixed income and bonds, equities and indexes, FX, options and derivatives, mutual funds, PE, VCC structures, and cryptocurrencies. So this combination of experience, education, and expertise has enabled Marvin to proficiently and thoughtfully provide bespoke solutions to manage and assist his many clients' differing needs and objectives, and of course, grow their investment portfolio and family wealth. So now I'll pass on the time to Marvin to speak about how traditional financial markets map onto the crypto markets conceptually and in trading.
Hello, everyone. Right. Thank you, Alicia, for the long introduction. All right. So, hi, guys. So basically, I'm not really a tech guy or a blockchain guy. I'm basically an ex-private banker. So I'm in the wealth management space, in the private banking space and the family office space for about 18 years. All right. So currently, I'm in the family office space. I'm a wealth management advisor and on the investment side. So basically, I'm on the buy side right now, other than being on the sell side, selling products, etc. So I'm sure everybody knows, right? As we are speaking, Apple is reaching $3 trillion in value. And how many Apples are there in the world? How many Tesla are there in the world? So right now, everybody wants to be the next Apple, the next Tesla, the next Amazon, etc. So in the crypto space, I'm sure right now we are actually transitioning over from the traditional financial market into the crypto world under the blockchain technology, right? And you see, in the traditional financial market, in order to get even listed, in fact, right now, I think as we're speaking, there's probably around 40,000 listed company in the world. Whereas right now, there's only less than 20,000 cryptocurrencies in the world right now. So you can see, because of this technology and this innovation, the cryptocurrency space and this blockchain space is really moving really, really fast. So the traditional method is that when you want to go to create a company, to do any selling of any goods and services, you need a track record, you need seed funding, etc. So pretty similar when you map it over the cryptocurrency world, right? It's the same thing. You try and create a solution or whatever blockchain technology, whatever goods and services. So in the past, you look for seed investors, venture capitalists. So it's the same thing over here in the cryptocurrency space. You're looking for seed investor, venture capitalists. The difference is that, in the traditional market, you need to prove that, you know, the concept and also the scalability, the revenue generating stuff. But in the cryptocurrency, it's slightly different. So over here, I think it's so much easier, you know, right now to do an ICO, or you call it an ITO, or even existing one, STO, you call it the securitized token offering, right? So currently we're seeing like small developers, you know, they are doing this STO instead of the traditional way where they do REITs. And then you see many ICOs going on around the world. There are really good ones. There are really, some are flops, some are scams, and what have you. So for me, I'm more on the financial side. I'm more on the buy side. So in terms of investment. So right now, of course, the top 10 cryptocurrencies will be the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Litecoin, etc. Right? And in every new innovation, there's always the early adopters, and then the innovators, and the early adopters, and then the early maturity stage. So I believe right now we are still in this early maturity stage, right? Probably in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we will reach a late maturity stage, where probably there'll be maybe 100,000 cryptocurrencies out there. It's just be like 100,000 listed companies out there. So what we want to find in cryptocurrency space, in this blockchain space, is to find the next Tesla, right? The next Apple, the next Amazon, or the next Facebook. And maybe Influencio can be the next Facebook, the next Tencent or whatsoever, right? So at the end of the day, I do realize this is so amazing. This crypto world is all about this community, right? And whenever it comes to investments or the intrinsic value of certain things, it's always about demand and supply, right? Can be a stock, you know, the share price. It can be a commodity, a gold, diamond, or what have you, oil. It's all about demand and supply, and any cryptocurrencies out there right now. And what we want to do, of course, fundamentally, when we talk about investments, we look at the fundamental aspects first, right? The team of people doing it, you know, who's behind the project, you know, what will be the commercial use, the utility of this token or this coin eventually, right? What's the scalability, right? These are the standard things when it comes to investments in terms of any businesses or in terms of any projects. So right, once it's launched, then of course we look at more other things, how it can scale, how it can expand vertically, horizontally, etc. What's the growth model like? And also for me, I'm more also into the technical aspects on the charting skills, on the bars and charts, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, like, and when it comes to charting, you normally look for more stable and mature cryptocurrencies like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, etc. And surprisingly, you know, is that we thought that, you know, a lot of people have this misconception that cryptocurrencies are being manipulated, right? You know, it's, you know, people just push it up. It's like going to be in a meme stock, you know, you can skyrocket to the moon, etc. But actually, you know, at the end of the day, it still goes back to the technicals. So if you use the traditional financial technicals, the Elliott wave, the Fibonacci's, and what have you into the chart, you can still see that it works. So what I can say, if this works, it shows that there is a real base of consumer out there believing in this particular coin, right? Be it for investment purpose, be it for consumer purpose, or what have you. So I would say to all of you out there who are listening or who is interested in investing, to, of course, first you have to look at the fundamentals, and after which, once things are mature, then you look at on the technical aspects of things. Yeah. So that's what I have to work. And for me, myself, I'm actually serving all the ultra high net worths and the billionaires and what have you. So it's interesting. So like, for example, if you want to start a new coin, you can be just a normal startup, right? And for this normal startup, if you have very creative ideas, but you lack the funding, you lack the capital, if you go through the traditional route, you will never get any funding, most likely, right? You can go on Shark Tank, and then they really throw the cold tower, basically. And then, but where in terms of the crypto space, it's so amazing when you have a community of people who believes in you, believes in your project, right? And it can happen, right? And after that, of course, you have to deliver the promise of executing the project, and you know, and make sure operations, everything is good, and scale this project. Then let's talk about for even listed companies right now. In fact, one of my billionaire clients, he has a few listed companies worth billions of dollars. He's listed, but at the same time, he's also looking at this space, right? So probably I'll be involved in a project to list a coin in the whole ecosystem of the group. Just like what previously, what Facebook, right, which is called Meta right now, is trying to do in the past. Of course, you know, being a US company, the SEC will go after him, and of course, he scraped the whole thing. But for the rest of the world, where you know the laws is still very gray in this area, I think it's really an opportunity. Be it you are a new company, or be it you are SME, or even a listed company. If you really have a great product, goods or services, you can really look at the crypto space, do an ICO, ITO, STO, all right, and it can run parallel to your stock prices, right? And in a way, you are actually transitioning away from the traditional financial market into this crypto market, because you never know, in the next 20 years, you know, the crypto market can be mainstream, right? Everybody will be using whatever coin out there instead of cash, instead of the US dollar. Even right now, despite the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, Ethereum is still pegged in a way to US dollar, right? I can't use like rubles to buy it. I can't use like some African rand, South African rand to buy it, right? It's still mainly US dollar. But going forward, you know, we really don't know how things is going to evolve for in the next 15, 20 years. Probably Bitcoin will be the main currency, Ethereum will be the main currency, or whichever coin will be the main currency out there, or any of the stable coins, USDT, etc., will be the main coin of exchange for into other services, other tokens, I would say. So I think you differentiate that. I think for me, my perspective, there's a difference between a cryptocurrency and a token, because certain cryptocurrencies there is no real commercial use for it, or real goods and services like Bitcoin, right? Unless Elon Musk decided that you can use Bitcoin to buy Tesla again, right? So we have to think when it comes to investments or creating a new coin is what will be the commercial value at the end of the day. You know, it is great. You know, this blockchain technology, this DeFi, decentralized concept is really good. But at the end of the day, it's like, where the community wants it, or where the world wants this. That is the main thing you think first. And after which, then how scalable is this? It's just the same. We are just going back to Business 101, the basics of investments. All right, that's all I have. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much, Marvin, for your insights on the crypto market from a financial perspective. And I agree with you. It's so true that you know, crypto really enables projects that would never have seen the spotlight or the limelight. But even if it's like a really great project, nobody will know about it. So it's great that we now have a platform and a tool to make this happen. So everyone in the participants list, we're very lucky to be here today, because if you want the alpha, please ask Marvin. So please, yeah, you're very lucky to be here today. Thank you again, Marvin. So next, let's take a look at what is the metaverse and how does it benefit the social media community. With our last speaker, who doesn't really need a lot of introduction because he's spoken a lot of times, Malcolm. He's a legally trained entrepreneur, founder, and strategic advisor of Gravitas International. And he's also an advisor to many leading companies in the blockchain space, including Technicorum Holdings and Kingstock Tax. So Malcolm specializes in cryptocurrency, blockchain-related law and projects, and he's built an empire centered around blockchain technologies, including DeFi, FinTech, and RegTech. Besides this, he's also the author of How to ICO, ITO in Singapore, and DeFi, the latest financial phenomenon. So without further ado, let me pass the time on to Malcolm to speak about Metaverse and how it will change social media.
Thanks very much, Alicia. Thanks for your introduction, and great to see everybody here. Excellent lineup of speakers and great topics and insights that they've been sharing. It's very heartening to see a lot of positive comments in the chat as well. And I'm sure that whoever's interested will stay back and ask further questions later. So let me give you guys an overview about today's hot topic, right? Metaverse. I mean, since Facebook made an announcement a few months ago, they've changed their name to Meta. And they have brought the term metaverse to the forefront of everybody in the VC and private equity world. So why metaverse? Because if you put metaverse in your project, your valuation goes up 10x. So if you're a founder looking at investing in the space, this is something that's extremely hot. So how does a metaverse then change social media? Exactly what is a metaverse, right? Because people hear this term being thrown around, but not many people are very clear about it and how this can monetize. So metaverse is basically AR, VR, and blockchain, right? So what's AR? Augmented reality. A common use case that a lot of people might know is the Pokemon game, right? You can go around hunting for Pokemons. A lot of people died hunting Pokemons in very remote places. And AR is something very, very interesting in this space. Those of you who are into all the realities, there are other terms as well, XR and MR. Right, mixed reality, you'll see shopping malls where it's both virtual as well as physical. And then you have XR, which is extended realities. So essentially a metaverse is a combination of these types of digital realities. And if you, one of the old timers in gaming, you might know of games such as Second Life, where there's already a whole virtual environment where people using their avatars can interact with each other, right? So the metaverse isn't new. It's something that is a new term that's been coined by Facebook, and actually it just combines all the different types of digital realities together into an all-encompassing concept right now. So why a metaverse right now? Because Facebook, of course, is a huge Web 2.0 platform for social interactions, and they really brought social media to the forefront. And now they want to reinvent themselves, so now they are moving into a virtual space. And this is unlimited, because unlike the physical world, which is limited by a physical environment, in a virtual environment, it's pretty much unlimited. So why is this important? Because this could very well be the next implementation of the internet. And it gives excellent and very, very exciting investment opportunities. Like I mentioned earlier, practically every deck, if you put a metaverse in there, is probably 10x of the valuation if you as compared to if you don't put the metaverse word in there, right? And of course, work collaboration, gaming is going to be revolutionized by the metaverse and various implementations of this. For example, instead of walking into an office and seeing your co-workers face to face, you could eventually and very likely walk into a workplace in the future where 2 or 3 of them at the desk are real people and the others are all holograms that are from the metaverse, right? So that's a very exciting implementation. Those of you who watched Ready One Player, right? That's the a movie version of what a metaverse could look like. So why the metaverse, right? Market size is growing. It's already hundreds of billions right now, and eventually it's slated to hit 800 billion. Recently, those of you who bought apes, congratulations! You hit a very rich payday because suddenly you got airdropped a lot of ape coins, right? So one of our friends and supporters and investors, Calvin from Plutus VC, he actually showed me his bought ape. $350,000 is the market value, or what's the market value 1 week ago? It's probably gone up already. And not only that, but when the Bored Ape Yacht Club airdropped their ape coins, he suddenly became $150,000 richer because there were free ape coins that were worth that. I think since then it has gone up as well, because on day one it dropped tremendously, but then it doubled and rebounded quite a fair bit. So right now, there's huge investment appetite, right? The Yuga Labs, the creator of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, raised 450 million recently, putting their valuation at billions of dollars. So there's a very, very large appetite in the space right now. And in fact, in Singapore, we are partnered with a group called Maven, and they are also creating Singapore's version of this Bored Ape Yacht Club, and combining both offline as well as online into a very interesting high net worth community, exclusive community. So there are many companies building metaverses right now. Practically every week, I'm getting an inquiry from someone, a business partner, someone from a traditional market asking me how do they do a metaverse. Like for example, the gallery owner that we are having the Maven event at tomorrow. She is from a family that owns marbles, and they have a gallery showcasing construction materials and marbles. And she wants to put that gallery into a metaverse so that it's easier for those clients who don't want to physically visit the gallery to actually experience what it is like and to see and shop from the metaverse. And that is really what the new reality that a lot of the world has come to realize actually works, because COVID actually forced all of us to digitize and go onto digital platforms and online communications. If not for Zoom, we are not here talking to each other, and most events that have been happening face-to-face in the years past are now happening online, and it's very, very convenient for people. So it's a very quick step forward to move from the current limited use of digital platforms to get into a metaverse environment where basically possibilities are limitless, right? So NFTs, financial services, like financial services, HSBC recently spent a few $1 million buying a lot in one of the top metaverses. And why? Because they want to put their bank in the metaverse so that the people using the avatars traversing that metaverse would be able to go and do banking, right? So that's interesting. And not only that, PwC a few months ago actually spent $6 million US dollars, PwC Hong Kong. The board members, management team came together, decided to choose one plot of land, spend $6 million to build their building there. So you can see that traditional MNCs, financial service providers, big four are actually getting in the space and getting into the metaverse early as well, because they see this opportunity. Of course, hardware solutions are also getting into this. You can see a lot of the logos here, and these are companies that are getting into these spaces. Big brands, a lot of you would know most of these brands that are mentioned here. Nike, Adidas, they are rolling out NFTs, getting in the metaverse as well. Dolce & Gabbana did a fashion show, raised $9 million, just selling 11 pieces of fashion. Half of them were pure digital, half of them were digital plus physical, right? So you see a lot of these brands have already started getting into the space. We've also entertained some queries from big car manufacturers as well, who wanted to get into the space and were figuring how, because some of their rivals have already started. So you'll see that more and more of the big enterprises are going to get into the space. Now, the scene that we have seen over the last 5 years, most MNCs, most big enterprises have gotten into blockchain development, or at least investigating how it impacts their business if they haven't already implemented various blockchain applications. And now with the advent of the metaverse, all of them are now looking into the metaverse. So it's already building on to the blockchain investigations that they were conducting a few years ago. And now they are all looking into NFTs, all looking into the metaverse, and examining how their businesses are going to be impacted. And those who are more forward-looking have already monetized, have already started making money from getting into the metaverse and through the sale of NFTs and the interaction within metaverses. So this, for example, is a Decentraland Fashion Week that just happened. And there was another partner of ours, or a business associate, called Big Things, and they are one of the top fashion tech companies in the world as well. And they did a New York fashion show. So there was an online fashion show and there was an offline fashion show, which is a normal one. And at the same time, they were doing a metaverse fashion show where the models with their avatars were floating around on platforms and doing all sorts of fantastic things that can be done in the metaverse. So these are already happening. So what's the future of social media? One interpretation is that a lot of social media activity is going to happen on the metaverse. And this is precisely why we have partnered with Influencio to bring this very interesting ICO to the market, to democratize, to get into Web 3.0 implementations, and hopefully to disrupt the tech giants, the Web 2.0 $1 trillion companies that you see today. because eventually the social appetite, the people's appetite is going to move towards decentralization, as some of the speakers earlier had already mentioned. And there is a shift in consumption behavior and towards decentralization and towards Web 3.0. Nobody wants all their data to be controlled by the tech giants of today. Everyone wants to have their own freedom, their own ownership of content, and to actually monetize their time. Because right now in Web 2.0, who's making the money? It's all the trillion-dollar companies, right? You spend your hours online interacting with each other, and then following your influencers and idols and celebrities. But who makes the money is actually the Facebooks, the Googles, the YouTubes, and out there. So as we move towards a Web 3.0 implementation of social media platforms, whether it's metaverse or non-metaverse, and this is precisely why a project like Influencio is so important, we will be able to let people earn from the time that they spend on the platforms. So for example, in social finance, basically Web 3.0 social platforms, you can make money or you can earn tokens by liking, sharing, posting, commenting, interacting socially with each other. And so this is what we say is democratization of the ecosystem. You earn the money, not the trillion-dollar tech companies, right? And we enabling this will be able to grow this ecosystem and to hit a critical mass. So this is our interpretation of the future of social media. And this is why as a group, Technicorum is getting into this space, and we see that this is a very, very valuable move in the world today, right? So any questions and feedback, please scan this. You can send us anything, or over here in the chat, you can feel free to ask the questions. And as we move into the Q&A session and the interaction and mass networking, feel free to ask any further questions that you might have. So thank you very much from Gravitas International, and look forward to seeing you in the next room for the networking event after this. Cheers.
All right, thank you so much, Malcolm, for speaking about the metaverse and how this new tech benefits the social media community. And it's very interesting to hear about the growth of the metaverse in terms of how much investment is being made into it. It's always seemed like an abstract concept in the beginning, but it seems after the past few months, it's starting to integrate more and more with traditional MNCs and companies, and also really empowering to know that all those hours that most of us have spent on, YouTube or TikTok or Instagram can finally be monetized. So that's a really great news. So once again, thank you to Daniel, Maksim, Rex, Marvin, and Malcolm for sharing their wealth of knowledge and experience with us here about social media on the blockchain. I definitely learned a lot today, and I know there's a number of key themes and topics that all of you shared, and I'm sure people in our webinar would be happy to have some questions about them. So I'll open up the floor. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. But while you're doing that, let me start with some of my questions before the audience comes in. So you guys talked about, exciting technological developments in the social media industry. And while we know there's so many positive sides to it, what are some of the challenges or negative sides of these developments you think will come? For example, the impact on traditional brands working with influencers. So any of our speakers can take this. Feel free. Maybe perhaps Malcolm, would you like to take this question?
Sorry, I was answering a message. Can you repeat the question again? Thanks.
Can. So there's a lot of advancements in the social media industry, and we've talked about all the positive side effects of all these advancements that's happening in social media with the development of blockchain technology into it. So do you foresee any challenges or negative sides of these developments?
Certainly. So with every new technology, there will always be the bad use cases that you'll see. So it's very interesting to see war. Unfortunately, there is a war happening in the world right now, a major one, and alongside the traditional physical attacks, there are groups of hackers on both sides coming into the space as well. And this is a very, very interesting development. Now we are going to high tech. There are drones being used on the battlefield. There are hackers aligning on both sides to get into advanced computerized systems and tech systems of both sides. So I think this is something that you can see with every new technology coming forward. And with blockchain technologies, with metaverse, with social media moving from Web 2.0 towards a Web 3.0 implementation, we'll certainly see a lot of different behavior as well. One huge thing that has been developing once social media came out was, of course, cyberbullying, right, and online social media abuse as well. And legal systems are very ill-equipped to cope with this, because for someone to flame you or create an anonymous account, it just takes 10 seconds, right? You just create something, press a button, and then just shoot the mouth off and do anything anonymously. But for the lawyers to actually get back at that, it might take months or even years. And then by then you could be attacked a million times and you can't even do anything. It's too costly. The current legal system, the current constructs of the world are not equipped for social media and the explosion of information right now. So certainly these are challenges, and as we see movement towards new technologies, there will always be new things that we have to watch out for. And the social constructs that we have, the societies, the laws that we have, really not advancing at the same pace as technology and adoption of all these new paradigms, right? Before, the governments around the world have even come to grip with blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now you have metaverse. Now you have social media getting into virtual reality, and all sorts of different questions are going to come up from this, right? So this is a long ramble to your very interesting question. Okay.
Thank you, Malcolm. It was a really good answer to my long question. I think there's a private question that came to me, and this one is actually for Rex. It is actually about advice to current influencers who are working in traditional social media platforms. What should they do today to prepare for the future with blockchain, metaverses, NFTs, and so on? Should they educate themselves on all things blockchain or start looking for new platforms? I mean, besides Famecast, what's your advice?
Yeah, so creators have a lot of opportunity today, and both in Web 2 and Web 3. I think Web 3 represents a lot of the biggest opportunities, and but obviously the technical parts of the blockchain are a bit confusing to quite a lot of creators. And so for example, we have built different things that help to enhance their workflow, and then we've also partnered with Influencio to create kind of the connection with what they're doing with the so to speak, the Web3 creator economy, to create better flow for creators. But some of the things that we do with creators is we have something called FameU, which is kind of our workshops and training. We do ourselves conferences and workshops, both physical and virtually. We have a space here in Los Angeles. We're actually in the US, 60% of all the creators in the US actually reside in Los Angeles. So it's kind of a creators mecca. Right, so we do a lot of face-to-face events, workshops, and we have a space and lounge that they can hang out and do collaboration on. So that's kind of some of the pieces. But yeah, I mean, for creators in general, I think it's to go to attend conferences and workshops and really listen to kind of the leaders in the space to figure out what to do. And we tried to create a platform that created an easy workflow for them to kind of get in to blockchain, as well as just to regular Web 2 type things, which are probably going to still be most of what they do right now. But like I said, Web 3 is really the biggest opportunity for creators moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rex. And I hope that answers your question. And there's one other question that came about. Very interesting. This person says that they saw Famecast and Influencio are both guests here. So will there be a possibility that both will be competitors once Influencio is up?
Yeah, and I think I addressed it by saying we actually are, I don't know if we've announced it yet, but we will be announcing a partnership with Influencio. So, I mean, if you really look at Famecast, we're really more of a Web 2 platform that has some tentacles into Web 3. And I think Influencio is really a Web 3 platform. And so we basically, I think, create a synergistic partnership in connection. So we're, we do have some overlap in what we do, but in general, I think we're very synergistic to each other. And where we're strong is really in kind of the workflow and management. And we're really a platform for creators to manage their business versus I think Influencio is really how to connect with brands and how to connect to all of these new opportunities like play to earn or social sharing to earn type opportunities.
Right, and to add on to what Rex said, yes, it's extremely synergistic, and in fact, in our partnership, we even catered for a formal JV at a certain stage in the future as well, once we hit certain milestones. So we've actually known each other for years, and I'm always very impressed by Rex's ability to create great tech. And for our side from Influencio, our outreach to the market and bringing on the platform to Web 3.0, to decentralization in the crypto industry is really our forte. So there's no real overlap. In fact, it's extremely synergistic. And if I hadn't heard from Rex about this new project that he was working on, Famecast, right, then we would have had to create so many things organically. But entering into this extremely beneficial partnership enables us to actually focus on our key strengths and to complement each other. Thanks, good question.
All right, thank you, Rex and Malcolm. There's one final question, which is about how the industry is going to look like in the future. So I think this is going to be the final question of tonight. What will the social media industry look like in 10 years? And this is for Malcolm.
Okay, thanks. I always get all these very general nebulous questions. You want me to predict 10 years in the future? Okay, anyway, this is really what interested me so much in crypto. Whenever I tell people what crypto is to me and how I got into it, I always tell them, look at what the world was like 25 years ago. Right, that's when internet was coming up. 25 years ago, I was in Montreal during my exchange program, and I was just a user of the internet. I used the internet to basically play games all day long. So I was one of the first batch of esports players, and I represented the country for one of the games that started back then. And but I wrote a paper in law school on PKI, public key infrastructure. And there was another very interesting paper as well, which was on the browser wars. Right, and why do I mention this? Because back then, Netscape and Microsoft were going at it, and there were a lot of antitrust rulings against Microsoft, but they still managed to get Netscape out of the picture. And where are they today? Bing is around, yeah, but Netscape is totally dead. And who's the winner? It's Google, right? So back then, in 1997, there wasn't even a hint of Google. And why do I say that? Because in the space of 10 years, Google was a fourth generation browser, and they managed to win in this war. Now, we today in blockchain and cryptocurrency, only I would say second generation, right? We may not even be complete with second gen. We don't even know what fourth gen will look like. And if any of you follow the charts, every year the top 10 reshuffles and changes, right? So this is going to happen, and anyone following any stock indices, any stock markets, you will see the same thing as well. There's always a big movement every new generation. And in crypto, in blockchain, and in the upcoming world of social media and metaverses, these players will keep changing as well. just because Facebook started it doesn't mean they're going to win. Just because Facebook started this and then BlackRock came into it, the Winklevoss twins came in and did the same thing, and they're all competing with each other. I would dare say they are not going to be the winners, right? This is the only thing that I'm sure of. 10 years later, these players today are not going to be the winners. Someone else is going to win this, and we don't even know who that winner is right now, because they probably don't even exist right now, or they're just starting out, or maybe we are the ones, right? Since we are starting Influencio right now and getting into that 3.0. So it's extremely hard to predict. In the crypto space, those of you who have been in it for the last few years, you will know what I say, what I mean when I say that every 3 to 6 months, the space changes. So those of you who are in GameFi right now, GameFi wasn't the big thing, right? 6 months ago, it was just NFTs. 6 months before that, it was DeFi. Whereas DeFi today is you hardly hear anything about DeFi anymore, because now it's already DeFi 2.0. Back one and a half years ago, it was DeFi 1.0. And next, our prediction is that SocialFi is going to be the next big thing within the next 12 to 18 months. And this is why we are getting into this space. And after SocialFi, I can't even tell you what's going to be next. I can only tell you maybe at the end of the year, because we are going to start to see what's coming up next. And the space is changing so fast. It's very interesting because it's disrupting so many of the traditional industries, and it's forcing everyone to accelerate the pace of development and the pace of catching up as well, right? So excellent question, right? But unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball that can look 10 years in the future, because probably it doesn't even exist right now. So I can't even give you that paradigm, right? But what I can tell you is that the space is very exciting and it keeps changing, and you have to change the times, otherwise you just miss out.
Yeah, I wanted to add, the irony, Malcolm, is that the founder of Netscape, Mark Andreessen, runs the largest VC, Andreessen Horowitz, and they're actually heavy investors in Web3. So, so Netscape is still driving something at some point.
Yeah, the money from that is driving other things. Yeah. Okay, so
right.
Alicia, shall we move on?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Malcolm and Rex. And we've come to the end of our webinar and the Q&A segment. So thank you so much for joining us at our monthly webinar. We are from Gravitas International. You can visit our website at gravitas.international. So you can see the QR code that's flashed on the screen. This is like any questions you might have or feedback if you want to give us. Please put them here. It's a very short Google form. And also you can connect with any of our speakers through this QR code as well. So please scan it and put in your thoughts and your comments. We would love to see all of them. So yeah, thank you again for everyone for coming and spending your evening with us. We really appreciate it. We'll keep this chat open all the way until 11:30, and then we'll close it. Thank you to our speakers and to all of our guests.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.